Hello children, how are you all? I hope you all are doing good. So children, as you all know that yesterday we have done comparison of unit fraction and we have done one lab activity related to common fractions. So children, today we will start with our next topic of unit 5 common fraction only, that is fraction in their lowest terms. So children, as yesterday I have given you a little bit of introduction of this topic, and yesterday I have taken one example 3 by 4, whether 3 by 4 is in its lowest term or not. Now what do you mean by reducing a given fraction or fraction in their lowest term? Means what? If you have been given with a fraction, then you have only one as a common factor. So what does it mean? So we'll see or we will check that a given fraction is in its lowest term or not. So how we can find it out that given fraction is in its lowest term or not? So for doing this, what we will do, we will find factors of given number, and then we have to see if we have highest common factor or if we have common factor only one, then we will say the given fraction is in its lowest term. So let's see children how we will do it. So here I have taken example 3 by 5. Like that only I have taken one example 3 by 5. Now if I write factors of 3, what are the factors of 3? 1 and 3. Then factors of 5. What are the factors of 5? What are the factors of 5? 1 and 5. Now in these two numbers you can see common factor. What will be the common factor? What is the common factor among 3 and 5 is? Only 1. So we will say that 3 by 5. So 3 by 5 is in its lowest term. So what we have concluded here, that if we have 1 as a common factor in numerator and denominator, then we will say that given fraction is in its lowest term. So now the question is that every fraction is in its lowest term? No. Sometimes you have been given with a fraction which is not in lowest term and you are supposed to convert it or you are supposed to reduce it into its lowest term. Now how will you reduce it into lowest term? So by dividing it by a common factor. For example, now next example we will take it of such kind of a number in which we have other common factors also, then 1. So now I have taken another example here 12 by 15. Now here you can see what are the common factors or factors of 12 we will write first. Factors of 12. What are the factors of 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. Now the next is what? Factors of 15 we will write. Factors of 15. What are the factors of 15? What are the factors of 15? Means in which table they are coming. 1. After 1 we have 3, then 5 and then 15 itself. Now you can see factors of 12 we have written and then factors of 15 we have written. Now here you can see the common factors are 1 and 3. 1 is common and 3 is common. So what we will do? We will divide the given fraction by the common factors. So to reduce it into lowest term. Now the question which I have asked, that whether the given fraction is it in lowest term. So for doing it, what you will do, you will write common factors. What are the common factors here? 1 and 3. So the given fraction, which is 12 by 15, is not in its lowest term. So this is the way to find it out whether the given fraction is it in its lowest term or not. Fine. If you have been given with the question that whether the given fraction is it in lowest term or not, then you are going to do this method. First you will write factors of first number, then factors of second number, just like this, and then you are going to find it out common factor. Now what is the conclusion we have taken out from here? That if we have common factor other than 1 or except 1, then we will say that given fraction is not in its lowest term. And if the common factor is only and only 1, then we will say that given fraction is in its lowest term. So remember this rule, and then you can tell that whether the given fraction is in its lowest term or not. So this one kind of a question we have done. Now the second kind of a question is this: how we can reduce it. So for reducing, you don't require to write all the factors. You have to find it out a common factor between the given two numbers and then divide the given number by that. So how we will do it, that we will see. So here you can see in 12 and 15, which is common factor 3, other than 1 we are not going to do division, because you all are knowing it that if a number is divided by 1, you will get the number itself. So we are not going to divide it by 1. So what we will do, other than 1, which other common factor we have? 3 is the common factor other than 1. So what we are going to do, we are going to divide 12 and 15 by 3. Yes, we are going to divide 12 by 3 and then 15 by 3. So what you will get it, 3 4s are 12 and then 3 5s are 15. So now we have got 4 by 5. Now we have to check 4 by 5, is it in lowest term or not? So we'll say yes. Why we will say yes? It is in its lowest term. So you will tell me why. Yes, because in 4 and 5 we have only 1 as a common factor. In 4 and 5 we have only 1 as a common factor, 1. So how 1 we are having as a common factor? See, factors of 4. What are the factors of 4? What are the factors of 4? That is 1, 2 and 4. And factors of 5, because 5 is a prime number. Prime numbers are those numbers which have only 2 factors, 1 and the number itself. So 1 and 5. So you can find it out, what are the common factor? 1. So 1 is the common factor. So we will say that 4 by 5 is it in lowest term. So what we have done here, we have reduced 12 by 15 into in its lowest term by dividing it by a common factor. So quite easy, but you have to remember the factors of a given number, how to write it, the way, and how to reduce a given number. You don't require all the factors when you are reducing, but when you are supposed to find it out which of the following is in its lowest term. When this question will be there to you, you are supposed to find it out, their factors. And if common factor is other than 1, then we will say that no, the given fraction is not in lowest term. So let's start doing these questions related to this. So children, we will start with example 1, that is which of the following fraction is in its lowest term. The same question you will get it in exercise 5.3 also, that which of the following fractions is in its lowest term. This is your example number 1 of exercise 5.3, that from the given fraction you have to find it out that whether the given fraction is in its lowest term or not. So which is the first question? A part is 12 by 18. A part is 12 by 18. Now remember the steps which I have told you just now. What you are going to do? First of all, you will write factors of 12. After that, factors of 18. And what is the conclusion? If you have common factor other than 1, then we will say that the given fraction is not in its lowest term. But nothing else you have to do it. We have to write the fraction. We have to write the factors only. So what we will do? Write down factors of first number, which is factors of 12. So what are the factors of 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12 itself. Now come to the second one, factors of 18. What are the factors of 18? That is 1, again 2, 3. Now 4 is not a factor of 18, then 6 and then 18 itself, and 9 also. 9 is also a factor here. So what you will do? You will encircle the common factor. 1 is common. After that 2 is also common. 3 is also common. And then 6 is also common. So what you will do next? That you will write common factors. What are the common factors? Common factors are 1, 2, 3 and 6. Now remember the rule which I have told you just now. If the common factor is except 1, then we will say that therefore the given fraction is not in its lowest term. Now here you can see we have 2, 3 and 6 also we have common factor, except 1. Except 1 we have 2, 3 and 6 also as a common factor. So we will write therefore 12 by 18, which is your given fraction, which is your given fraction, is not in its lowest term. This is the question only. You can see above what is the question. Which of the following fraction is in its lowest term? Which of the following fraction is in its lowest term? So what you have to do? You have to write factors of first number, then factors of second number, which is your denominator, factors of numerator, then factors of denominator, then you are going to find it out common factor. If you have common factor except 1, then either 1, 2, 3, whatever. Except 1, if you have a single factor also, one more factor also, then you will say that the given fraction is not in its lowest term. So children, I hope this question is clear to you all. Now we'll move to B part of this same example. B part is again that kind of a question only. What we are going to do it in that? We are going to write factors of numerator and then factors of denominator. So what is the second one? That is 2 by 9. Now the second fraction is 2 by 9. What we will do? We will write factors of 2. Now what are the factors of 2? Yes, 1 and 2 itself. 1 and 2 itself. Now 2 is the only even prime number. 2 is the first and only even prime number. Except 2, rest all the prime numbers are an odd number. So this also you have to remember. With this we will do the revision of previous chapters also. Whenever we will come across with any topic, we'll do that also. So here factors of 2 are 1 and 2. Now come to the next. What are the factors of 9? Factors of 9. What are the factors of 9? 1, 3 and 9 itself. Now you can see what are the common factors. What are the common factors here? What are the common factors here? Common factor is only 1. So we will say that the given fraction 2 by 9 is in its lowest term. The given fraction is in its lowest term. Quite simple question, but only thing, when you are writing factors of the given number, you must be careful. What are the factors? You are not going to leave any factor. So children, with this we have completed our example 1. Now I am going to start exercise 5.3. We'll do questions related to this example and then we will come to reducing into lowest term. So now in your exercise, if you will see, you will come across the same question which we have already done in the example, that is, which of the following fraction is in its lowest term. So that is your first question of exercise 5.3. Now here you have been given with the fraction 14 by 21. So before we will start this question, you must remember it that a given fraction is in its lowest term when we have only 1 as a common factor. Fine? If that number is going to be reduced by any other number, or if that number is having any other factor except 1, then we will say that the given fraction is not in its lowest term. Remember this again and again I am telling you this rule, because that rule will be very helpful while doing it, while doing the question. Now here we have our first fraction, that is 14 by 21. As you can see that these two numbers comes in the table of except that table 1. So we will write factors of 14. First we will write factors of 14. See children, whenever it is given this kind of a question, which of the following fraction is in its lowest term, you are not going to do that question directly, or you are not going to write the answer directly, like yes it is in lowest fraction, or yes it is in lowest term, no it is not in lowest term. You are not going to write it directly. You are going to solve it, you are going to give a valid reason for it, and then you are going to write the answer. That is only conclusion. When you are writing yes it is in lowest term, no it is not in lowest term, so it means you have only given the result. Where is the process? So this process also you are going to show it in all the questions. So A part is factors of 14. What are the factors of 14? Yes, 1, 2, then 7 and then 14 itself. Now we'll come to 21. What are the factors of 21? What are the factors of 21? 1, 3, 7, then 21 itself. Now you can see which are the common factors here. 1 is common. After 1, 7 is also common. So as I told you just now, if a common factor is other than 1, if you are getting any other than 1, you are getting a single factor also, then you will say that the given fraction, therefore 14 by 21 is not in its lowest term. So like this you are supposed to do this question. A part, question number 1 of exercise 5.3. You will write the question with black pen and then the solution you will do it with blue pen. First you will write factors of 40, then factors of 21, then common factors 1 and 7 will be the common factor. Therefore, the given fraction is not in its lowest term. So we'll come to our B part. We'll see the B part, that is 30 by 42. Why I am telling you? Because a little bit bigger numbers are there, so that if you not feel any doubt, any problem while doing it in your notebook. So B part is 32 by 30 by 42. Now B part is 30 by 42. So we will write here solution. Now 30 by 42. So what is the first step? Yes, the first step is writing factors of numerator and factors of denominator. So first of all we will write factors of numerator. Now numerator, what is the number here? Factors of 30. What are the factors of 30? 1, 2, 3. 4 is not a factor of 30 because in the table of 4 30 doesn't come. Then 5, then 6, then 10, then 15 and then 30 itself. Now come to next number, which is 42. You will write factors of 42. See, remember these steps. Without doing these steps, directly you are not going to write the answer. You will do these steps and then you will write the conclusion. Now factors of 42, 1, 2, 3, then 4 is a factor of 42? No. Then 6, 7, then after this we have 13, so 14, 21 and 42. So these are the factors of 42. Now you have to find it out common factor. 1 is common, after 1 2 is also common, and then 3 is also common, after that 6 is also common, and after that we don't have any common factor. So we will write common factors. What are the common factor? 1, 2, 3 and 6. So is it in lowest term? No, because as I told you that if you have common factor other than 1, then you will say that the given fraction is not in its lowest term. So you will write therefore, what you will write therefore? 30 by 42 is not in its lowest term. So children, I hope the process of finding out whether the given fraction is it in lowest term or not, that is clear to you all. Now we'll do one more question of this question number 1, and after that 2 more questions will be left that you are going to do it yourself. Then we will do how to reduce it. So let's start C part. So children, with this we have C part 18 by 25. So now what you have to do? 18 by 25, you are going to write factors of 18 and then factors of 25, and then you are going to see whether we have common factor except 1 or not. If you don't get it any common factor except 1, again and again I am repeating this thing. Okay, so remember it. If you are not getting any other common factor except 1, then you will say that the given fraction is in its lowest term. So we'll do it that question. Factors of 18 we will write. What are the factors of 18? 1, 1, then 2, then 3, then 6, then 9 and then 18 itself. Now come to the next number, that is 25. Now factors of 25. What are the factors of 25? 1, 5 and 25 itself. Now can you find it out common factor? Yes. 1 is common and except 1 you are not getting any other common factor. So what you will write here? Common factors. What are the common factors here? You are getting only 1 as a common factor. So you will write here 1. Therefore 18 by 25, which is your given fraction, is in its lowest term. Is in its lowest term. So children, now after this C part, you have D and E part also. So D and E part, D part is 15 by 17, D part is 15 by 17 and E part is 21 by 29. So these two questions you will do it yourself. Factors of first number, which is your numerator, that you will write, and then factors of denominator, that you will write. After writing it, then you are going to find it out common factor, and then if you are getting common factor only 1 or except 1, if you are getting any other number as a common factor, then you will say that the given fraction is not in its lowest term. So children, I hope this kind of a example or this kind of a question you can easily do it. Now we'll come to our question number 2. So before we'll start question number 2 from the exercise, we will see example related to that. Now what is that example? Example for reduction. So now children, see example 2 of the same exercise. Reduce 28 by 42 in its lowest term. Means you are not going to get any common factor except 1. So that is reducing it into its lowest term. How we can check a given fraction whether the given fraction is in its lowest term or not? That just now we have done, and now we will do second kind of a question of the same exercise 5.3, that is related to how to reduce it into its lowest term. So how will you reduce it? So what we will do, we will find it out a common number which is a factor of both, and we will start dividing it with this. Now here you can see, now in this question you can use the divisibility rule also. Now you can see here on ones place you have 8 and here you have 2. So we will start solution here. Now on unit place you can see 8 and here you can see even number. 8 is also even number and 2 is also even number. It means that is divisible by 2. So we will start with the first step. 28 will be divided by 2 and 42 will be divided by 2. So after doing the division, what you will get it? 2 ones are 2 fours are, and then 2 twos are 4 and 2 ones are 2. Now you have got 14 by 21. Now you have to see in which table this 14 and 21 both are coming. Yes, that they are coming in 7. They are coming in the table of 7. 7 twos are and 7 threes are. Now you have got 2 by 3. Now as you can see, in 2 by 3 you have only 1 as a common factor. In 2 by 3 you have only 1 as a common factor. So what you will say? You will say that now what we have done, we have reduced the given fraction which is 28 by 42 into its lowest term, which is 2 by 3, by dividing it by a common factor, by dividing both the numbers by a common factor. So let's take one more example with this. if you have been given with 28 by 98, we'll take one more example here. 28 by 98. Again you can see on ones place you have it. On ones place you have it. What you have to do? You have to reduce in its lowest term. You have to reduce into its lowest term. Fine. In this also you have to reduce it only. Now what you will do? You are knowing it, if we have an even number on ones place, that number will be divisible by 2. So here 28 will be divisible by 2, and similarly 98 will also be divisible by 2. What you will get? 2 1 times and then 2 4 times. Now come to the next. 2 4s are 8, 2 9s are 18. Now you can see both these numbers are coming in the table of 7. So you will reduce it again by dividing it by 7. So 7 2s are 14 and then 7 7s are 49. What you have got? 2 by 7. Now 2 by 7 is the lowest term of 28 by 98. So tomorrow we will do questions related to this reducing into its lowest term from exercise. And for today you will do only question number 1 of exercise 5.3, A, B, C, D and E part. So I hope you have enjoyed the class. That's all for today. Good day, children.